Good evening, variable traders. BrendonD here, your two-star general. Now, I took one trade on AMRN, one trade and done for the day. So what we noticed was this was on a watch list, and for the low side levels, I marked $20 at the 50 EMA on the daily, a possible red to green move, which is this dotted line here, and then a 2050 level, which was significant on the daily way back there if you scroll back, and the 2150 level, which was kind of around this moving average and also significant on the daily. So a few levels here, nothing too great in terms of levels, but definitely a few things to look at and keep an eye on if you want to trade this stock. So what we noticed right away, and Andrew marked this out, was this 1 minute candle. Now this candle shows that the stock sold off but was bought back almost instantly, all within a minute, and closed above VWAP. And it was so strong, it almost barely tested, didn't even test this $20 level on the daily. So that's a lot of strength, and closed above VWAP. This thing's along. Definitely caught my attention after that, but then it just stormed straight up. I didn't even get a chance to take an entry. So what happened here was a nice opening 5-minute candle with a nice body to it. So it was huge, but a nice body and still close enough to VWAP where you can find an entry. And what I was waiting for was kind of just kind of a consolidation of flag up maybe, and see can we get into this trade here. So started to flag up, sell off a little bit here, bought straight up with this kind of doji candlestick, and then squeezed really tight here, sold up but then sold off, but very small body, so a lot of fighting going on. So two things are going to happen when you have candlesticks, candlesticks like this one here, this little doji, and this other type of shooting star doji candlestick. Now it could either snap down and give up and go back to VWAP, or it could just snap up. And what happened was, we're going to throw your stop if you want to go long. And what I had to do is this candlestick was so massive that the stock could easily retrace back to VWAP, because that would only be about a third or halfway into this candlestick. And you got to take a wide stop. I mean, it could have tested this moving average, it could have tested VWAP, and then marched up again. Or it could have just broke out from where it was right there and just be super strong like a rocket booster candle. Ended up being that. It was just very strong. But I had to take smaller size because this candlestick was so big, and VWAP is so far away in terms of just how big this candlestick was, that I had to take smaller size. But I'm still happy. This thing had a great run. So I jumped in here right after this candlestick, started to squeeze up, and so I jumped in there, partialed out a little bit at just close to the red to green move. Now I got out a little early just before I tested it, because it was starting to didn't quite touch it. It started to sell off a little bit, and said, this is close enough. Let's partial out, move stop to break even, and lock in profits here. And that's what I did. And I said, it could still retest, may take a little while, and it took about 5 minutes more, and then broke up again. And then after that whole huge bullish candle, this stock was strong. Definitely a rocket booster candle and another bullish candle here on the 5-minute. So I was happy with that. And partialed out a little more, just around the $21 point, because it's a whole dollar. And it said, let's take a little more off the top here. Now it started to look a little top heavy with these wicks back and forth, and said, I think could pull down again. And sure enough, it did test this 9 on the 5-minute. Right after, about 5 minutes or so after I got out, and my stop was at break even anyway, so even if I stayed in it, it chopped back and forth, made a new high and day here, and continued to go up throughout the day. But after 3 partials, and these signs here were enough for me to get out, and I really chopped back and forth. You can't spend all day monitoring a trade like this, so I was quite happy with it. You protect yourself, stop at break even after 3 partials, and you have a great day. So this was just a great trade. I thought, I'm not the brag or anything, but it's really a classic trade here.